The men's and women's track and field teams will send 4 representatives to the NCAA Indoor Championships in Birmingham, Alabama on Friday and Saturday. On the women's side, Big Ten Indoor Field Athlete of the Year Kelsey Card will compete in the shot put and weight throw, and Georgia Ellenwood will look to repeat as a first-team All-American in the pentathlon. 3-time first-team All-American Zach Zymek will look to add to that total in the heptathlon, while Morgan McDonald, the Big Ten champion in the 3,000 meters, will make his NCAA debut for the men. Director of Track and Field and Cross Country, Mick Byrne, is here. We'll have some opening comments, then take questions.
Thank you, Brian. All 4 student athletes heading to Birmingham this weekend are coming off as huge performances at the Big Ten Championships, scoring multi points for us in the team scoring. And obviously, when you have a great Big Ten meet, you look for them to take that confidence, excitement, and momentum into the national meet. On the women's side, as Brian said, Kelsey Card is obviously our leader, currently ranked number 3 in the nation with 58 feet 6 3/4 in the shot put, and number 1 in the weight throw at 72 feet 7 3/4. Kelsey will compete against Raven Saunders, the defending NCAA champion, indoor and outdoor champion, currently one of the top throwers in the world. Also, Christina Hillman from Iowa State with 58 feet 10, right around Kelsey's mark. So it looks to be a very exciting and intense competition. In the weight throw, right behind Kelsey at 72 feet, we have 5 women right in the 71 feet high mark. So again, anyone's competition looks to be a very great, intense competition, and we're excited to see Kelsey hopefully win our first NCAA title. On the men's side, Zach Zymek, as we said, is number 5 in the nation with 58.25 points. Zach, we decided not to do the HEP at the Big Ten meet. Thought it was best for him to rest and do some individual events and have some fun with that. He'd already competed once this year in the heptathlon, and I think it was the right decision for Zach. A little bit fresher going into the NCAA meet. Back on the women's side, obviously in the multis, is Georgia Ellenwood. Huge PR in that event at the Big Ten Championships. To lose the title by 1 point was heartbreaking. She's currently 5th on the declared list. Jess Lehman from Minnesota, the Big Ten champion, has decided to scratch from the meet. So again, an open competition, and with Georgia scoring 4 out of 5 PRs at the Big Ten meet, she's obviously got a lot of confidence in riding high going into the national meet. Also, back to the men, Morgan McDonald. We decided to run Morgan in the 3,000 meters instead of the mile. Felt that a lot of our training for the 3,000 meters was strength-based, and we just thought that it was a great decision. Really looking forward to outdoor season and continuing the strength building in such a young athlete. It turns out that many of the top milers in the country scratched out of the mile, instead opting to run the 3K. So we'll know in a couple of days if it was a good decision or not. But we're excited to see Morgan as a sophomore heading to the national meet.
Mick, if you could explain, how do you gain first-team All-America honors, and what are the chances of these 4 athletes?
Top 8 in each event is going to be All-American, first team. So, yeah, they've got, obviously, with their high ranking going into the meet, they've all got a great opportunity to be All-American. And ultimately, that's the goal.
How do you think Zach Zymek is looking so far this year?
You know, first time out, 58.25 points. I was way back at the end of January, so Zach looks real fresh again, coming off the Big Ten meet where he just did the individual events, the pole vault, which was a huge performance for him, and also the long jump. So he's fresh, and it's going to be a long year for Zach. So, you know, with the NCAA meet, the decathlon outdoors, but also Olympic trials. So we figured, hey, the best way to keep him fresh in the month of March was to just go individual. So, you know, when you look at the competition, there's one young man over 6,000 points. Defending NCAA champion Luca Wheeland from Minnesota is in the competition. Luca struggled with that heptathlon at the Big Ten meet, but he's a great athlete, and I'm sure he'll bounce back. But there's 4 or 5 individuals out there, world-class individuals, and any one of them could win this title. So for us, it's all about you know, the development for Zach and keeping him fresh for not just this meet, but also for outdoors.
Mick, Michael Lehrman set all these records in the weight throw, and now Kelsey Card has aspired to the top, one of the top spots in the country, certainly. Any reason why great weight throwers are here?
Certainly has a lot to do with Coach Ostrowskis, recognized as one of the top coaches around the country. He's passionate about the event. Does a great job at taking our athletes from the freshman year right through the development stages. For a lot of our athletes, they've never thrown the weight before. It's new to them, so being patient with them, taking them along slowly. I think he does an exceptional job with that.
I remember watching Dorcas Akinie, and she was so very good at the multi-events. What's made Georgia so good, and how much better can she be, do you believe?
It seems like, you know, she's just gone from one strength to the other again. It's a lot of confidence, and it's technical events, and she's just getting better as she gets older in the technical events. And again, it's you know, it's working on those technical events day in and day out with her coach Nate Davis, and he does a great job also with the multis kids. We just got some great news out of Canada that Georgia's been selected on the Canadian team for the World Indoor Championships next weekend in Portland. That's a great honor for her and certainly for us and for Coach Davis.
What's your expectations for Morgan at his first NCAA track meet?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. You know, when pondering last week and trying to decide if we declare him in the mile or the 3K, and never expected to, I think all the coaches around the country are looking at, you know, what happened with the mile. It went all the way back to number 27 on the descending order list, and that's interesting. I figured that you might get 5 or 6 of the top milers staying out of the mile event because it's one of those events that you just don't know what's going to happen. They have to run prelims, but also, you know, they can become very tactical races. So never thought that you would lose 10 people off the descending order list for the mile. In hindsight, as obviously 2020, it might have been a good way for Morgan to go because he's so young, but you know, a lot of those milers are going to run the distance medley relay for their programs, and hey, he's in the national championships, he's in the final. It's a straight final. Some great competition. Looking forward to that, and I think he relishes the challenge. I think the bottom line here is that it was his favorite event, and he wanted to do that. So it's important to. He's confident going into the 3,000 meters. He looked really good at the Big Ten meet. He was able to change gears, and at this level, you have to be able to change gears, and he did a real good job at that. So yeah, you know, maybe next week we'll look at it and say, well, we should have went in the mile, but. I think overall you look at his development, you look at what his training, where his training's been at, and what's best for the individual. So he's pretty confident.